this my jam. I'm trying to eat right now on cam. I'm trying to see if y'all know this. Let's go get our favorite dish. Tell me what a food is.
Ave Rex, come on down, buddy.
Good to see y'all.
So today, what are we making?
We're going to make 3 variations of homemade hot chocolate completely from scratch.
Perfect.
So we'll start with the base. The base is going to be 4 cups of whole milk, which you got over here. Yeah, it's a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. Also over here, got some nutmeg, some cinnamon, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and then a little bit of vanilla extract. And then 2 variations we're going to have are going to be cinnamon with Fireball, and the other one's going to be with a shot of espresso and some tequila. Then we're going to hand make some cream too.
So drink on a Sunday morning, apparently. So, I mean,
It's the holidays.
yeah, it is the holidays. Like I said, loved ones.
Well, let's get into it.
All right, let's get to it. So what are you doing first?
Well, we're going to start with the milk. Get this in the pan. We have 4 cups of milk to start here. Whole milk. I mean, you can choose whatever you like. If you want to use a non-dairy, do as you will. I like whole milk because I think it gives a really rich flavor. Also means you have to drink less of it.
Yes, it is really fatty.
That it is. It also means it is delicious.
Yes. So tell me, while you're doing that, tell me something about yourself. Tell me your history with wrestling con lucha. What was your debut match like?
Oh, my debut match. I wrestled in an area of Seattle called South Park in front of about 200 people. I wrestled somebody who you met. He used to wrestle as Juventud 2000. Yep. And I think it went pretty well. You know, I mean, as it goes, the first match, you know, you're really nervous going out there and everything. You're pretty wound up. But, you know, I think it went all right. I went over. We were using a boxing ring, so the ropes were loose and took a little bit of getting used to. But all in all, yeah, I think it went pretty well. I'm pretty happy with the first match.
Well, that's good. What year was this?
That would have been, I think, 2011. Was it 2025? So it's been about 15 years. Pretty close to 15 years I've been wrestling so far.
So here's a crazy fact, or not as crazy as I like to make it seem like. When I started training para lucha, I actually met him, right? I was seeing him training with someone else, another friend of ours, and they were doing crazy moves. I was a new kid, you know. I was like, oh my God, this is so awesome. At the time, I was 19. So I started training. I fell in love with it because I was experiencing professional wrestling for the first time. And then at first, he was intimidating. I'm not going to lie to you. He was a bit intimidating. I thought he was going to mean to me, but no, he's actually a nice person. You come to love him. And then, yeah, I mean, we've had, like so many good matches to you and me.
I'm wrestling. I don't even know how many times we wrestled together at this point.
Yeah. Fun fact. Can I say it?
I don't know. Depends on what it is.
Exótico.
Ooh, nah.
Okay, that's for another story.
Yeah. But just really quickly, kind of catch up to where we are here. So, like, as the milk starts to heat a little bit, that's when you want to start with the cocoa. So that helps break it down.
Cocoa, chocolate,
polvo, unsweetened. We'll sweeten it ourselves. Get that out of the way. So basically, as this continues to heat up, I'm just going to keep whisking it a little bit. And we want to go with fairly low heat so as not to scorch the milk.
Nice.
We do a cut for a sec. So by the time you get to this point, you see all of the cocoa is dissolved, and we start adding the rest of our flavors. Seasoning, I suppose. Do a teaspoon of cinnamon.
Measurements.
Well, you can adjust on the fly.
You can.
This is a good baseline. I really like cinnamon, and so I don't want to upset anybody who tries to use this recipe by over adding too much cinnamon. So I'm being a little conservative up top.
And cinnamon's healthy for you too. It is.
Cleans the blood. So get that worked in. Cinnamon also, particularly the powdery cinnamon, is a little difficult to work in. So that'll take a little bit extra work.
Oh, tell me about it.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I make coffee in the morning, put cinnamon in there, I'm like whisking a little cup. But you know, it's fine.
You need to get a little blender. Or like one of those hand mixers. Nutmeg is also quite, well, a little spicy. Maybe a little offensive. So we're doing just a little bit here. Again, you can adjust to taste. I'm just doing a 1/4 teaspoon of that. That moving.
We're doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about your experiences in lucha. Where have you been? What countries have you visited? ¿Con quién has luchado? ¿Y con quién fue tu mejor lucha que has tenido?
So I've wrestled in Canada, the U.S., and Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of my favorite matches in Mexico would have been against Las Chotas. I think were a lot of fun. I was fortunate enough to wrestle Pasión Cristal before she passed. Go ahead and add the vanilla, which this one we're just going to eyeball.
A sabor.
A huevo. In general, I feel I had some fun matches there. There's a pretty good mix of talent of kind of young up-and-comers on the indies and then some really experienced wrestlers. I think one of my most memorable experiences in Mexico, though, is a buddy of mine, or a profe, Peligro Jose Jr. or Jose Jr. A profe Peligro Jose Luis, his good friend Sepulcro, the original Sepulcro down there. He runs a program where he puts on shows in prisons in Mexico City, just as entertainment for the prisoners. So I wrestled twice in a prison in Mexico with prisoners, which was really fun.
It's really fun.
It's terrifying the first time you go, because I mean, like, if you've never been to a prison, it's a prison in a foreign country, and then they shake you down when you get in there, and you can't wear certain colors because you can't wear the colors of the prisoners are wearing. And
seguro te ven y dicen, "Gringo, hay un gringo ahí."
No, it was actually it was a really fun and welcoming crowd, and I think that was part of what made it such a pleasant experience. I mean, I think a lot of people here are always afraid to go to wrestle in Mexico because they hear the stories about it's going to be stiff or whatever, but everyone is always very welcoming. You show up, you know how to work, nothing but respect. And it's been fun. I lived down there for about a couple years, aside from a few visits before that. And it's great. I'd recommend anybody who can make the work or make it the trek down there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. The fun fact about Ave Rex, he is a high flyer. He's a powerhouse. Like I said, he's really, really good in this game. Going to Canada, going to Mexico, working in the States. Me personally, one of my favorite wrestlers. Let's see, I didn't know. But anyways, what are you doing now?
So now, which is the very last thing here, we're adding the brown sugar. I usually add the sugar towards the end, particularly if you're going to use brown sugar instead of granulated sugar, because it will scald. Mm-hmm. So this way, we're just basically adding it at the end here, getting it to melt in, and then we're just kind of going to keep this moving. So we want this to get to a good steam. We don't want to get to a full boil, but just going to keep this moving, keep the ingredients mixed up, making sure nothing separates, and making sure that the milk does not scald.
So you were a line cook?
I was a line cook from ages 16 to probably 22, so about 7 years, more or less. I was primarily pantry and grill cook. I also went to a vocational cooking program in high school. Uh-huh. So 2 years there, and that's kind of how I really cut my teeth on restaurant work. But never quite to the professional level that you are, but it's a skill that I've carried into life outside of kitchens. Uh-huh. We cook at home, 4 meals a day, basically. So I think you can do fun stuff like this.
Amazing stuff.
We probably can cut. Oh, you're grabbing this right now? Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, this is so good.
You got to try that again. I didn't know you were filming. Quick taste test?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Go first.
All right. Let's see.
It's your house, so you go first.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So
that is really good. That is so delicious. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. That's all it took. I'll leave that aside for a minute. We'll just keep this on low.
So now what are we doing?
Now we're going to make whipped cream to put on top. And since you are next to the mixer, I'm just going to hand you what you need. I'm going to go with 1 pint of whipping cream.
Hit. So you want 1 hit?
1 pint.
1 hit. 1 pint.
1 pint.
Got it.
We'll do a cut there. All right. So we should keep this moving, keep this going on low heat, and then make some whipped cream. From scratch. Since you're close to the mixer, have you go ahead and drop in. That's a pint of whipping cream. We don't need a lid.
Sorry.
We're using the whole container anyway.
All right. So I'm dropping the pint or pint of heavy whipping cream in there. Okay.
The half teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then a half cup of powdered sugar.
Half a cup of powdered.
And that's it. Oh, it's already up. Let's go ahead and start on low so it doesn't kick everything around too much or minimize spillage.
So everything here is your own recipe, right?
Yeah, it's just variations of things that I learned along the way. You can kind of adjust the flavor of whipped cream specifically however you want. Usually if I'm making it for a large group of people, I'll sweeten it a little more than if I'm making it for myself. This, I think, is a half cup is a little closer to what most people think of when they're thinking of like, whipped cream that you get out of a can or what have you. But I usually use maybe a quarter of a cup. I prefer the flavor of the vanilla and the flavor of the cream itself, so you can kind of adjust it accordingly. So as it starts to thicken up, you just kick up the speed just a little more. And obviously, you can do the same thing here with a hand mixer. You can do it with a whisk, but that's
much work.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. It's okay to cheat.
Make sure to keep this moving over here. And the other thing with this one too, whenever you take it off, the heat is fine, but make sure when you have the heat on that you kind of keep moving, otherwise it'll develop a little bit of a film. And that's where all your seasoning is going to go, and then it looks weird and changes the flavor.
Oh, it's getting thicker.
And I think we're just about full speed. There we go. We'll let that keep going. And basically what we're just looking for here is just looking for peaks. So it's starting to kind of get folds a little bit, but once you start to see like actual peaks of cream, that's when we're good to go.
So what got you into wrestling?
I used to watch wrestling a lot growing up. Primarily watched WCW. That was the first way I encountered lucha, was actually watching Rey Mysterio, Parca, that whole crew kind of that came over for me. And then, when I got older, I just decided to try to find somewhere to actually learn how to wrestle. And I managed to come across Lucha Libre Volcanica and just went from there. Go ahead and cover that real quick. We're getting pretty close here.
It's soft and fluffy.
You definitely want to make sure you don't overbeat it, because then it'll just turn back into a liquid. So this is roughly the consistency that we're looking for. It's not butter yet, but it's thick enough that it'll hold on to something. Let's set this over here away from the heat.
Who is it? I'm fucking
terrible. You can lick this if you'd like.
I can lick it?
Absolutely.
And cut. So what are we doing?
Well, since we're fancy, we have a pastry bag. This is how we're going to put whipped cream on top of our hot chocolate.
Ooh, you're putting your cream in.
Mm-hmm. You just have to hold still and I'll keep filling.
So you're putting your cream in?
Yep.
Okay.
Just hold still and I will keep stuffing you.
Cochino.
All right. Go ahead and kind of move that. Just shake it a little bit. Move that down towards the bottom. Squeeze at the top. We'll get some of this poured. Okay, so get this ready. To ladle up. Trying to drip all over my kitchen.
And then your wife's going to kill you.
Yeah, well, I clean up after myself.
Sorry, Mrs. Ave Rex. You know who you are.
There we go. Set that back out of the way.
So for all the single ladies, are you married? Obviously he is.
Obviously am. Yes. For those who are inquiring.
Yes.
Give it a nice dollop on top.
That wasn't that bad.
That wasn't that bad. Give it a little more height. So tight, and then you kind of just do that. There we go. I'll make it pretty. So a little bit of the hardest liquid chocolate, apparently. Ah, excellent. Delightful.
So, that looks good. That looks delicious. I would drink that.
You can, it's right there. First taste test.
¿Tienes popote? Porque me voy a manchar la máscara. Popote. Gracias.
Don't burn yourself.
Prefiero quemarme que mancharme. Get the pinky up.
Excellent. With class.
Oh, man.
Yeah?
Yeah. Mrs. Ave Rex is a one lucky lady. You can make that a nice hot chocolate.
Also can make it with tequila.
A chocolate abuelita. Well, in this case, it will be chocolate de Ave Rex.
I thought you were going to call me abuelito for a moment, and I was going to scream.
Now, what are we doing?
So we're doing the same thing, but we're going to slight variation. We're going to do tequila and a shot of espresso.
This is what Christmas is all about, spending time with your loved ones, with your canarles,
day drinking,
hermanos, day drinking, tequila shots here and there. I don't really drink as much, but, spending Christmas time with your loved ones, right?
So, you cut for a second. So for this first variation, I'm just going to throw in a single shot of espresso.
At this point, making coffee, you can open up your own bikini spot. I'm just saying.
It's competitive out here, but you might be onto something.
I mean,
if you're looking for a part-time job, I'll hire you.
Maybe.
Okay. So here. Single shot.
And for you guys at home, when you make this recipe, el chocolate sabe bien rico, right? It's really good. Como chocolate abuelita, pero en este caso va a ser latte abuelita Rex. Okay?
So we're going to call the bikini barista.
Bikini barista.
Excellent. We got the same thing here, shot of espresso, and then we're going to throw in a shot of tequila.
Tequila at 1:47 p.m.
It's Sunday.
It is Sunday.
Yeah. The Lord's Day. Actually, do you mind holding that funnel? I'm worried that's going to fall over. There we go. Just the same. A little bit of whipped cream. All sinks. So it's becoming a lot of whipped cream.
And what would you call that?
Oh, chocolate with tequila.
Con tequila. Or, in this case, la abuelita loca.
Let's see. The coffee is a little bit on the bitter side.
Okay.
So I'd recommend not using a too rich of a tequila. This is a reposado. I would usually use a silver plata. I would not use an añejo for it. It just becomes a little too bitter, and I think it kind of drags down the sweetness of the cocoa.
And for the people who don't have a fancy machine like yours, how can they make the coffee?
You can also use cold brew or something along those lines if you prefer. I'd say cold brew as opposed to regular coffee just because it tends to be a little richer in flavor. But you could also swap out coffee just the same. It's kind of just to add a little bit of caffeine to it, so a little more of a pick me up. But also you get a little bit of that bitterness of the coffee, and it accentuates the flavor of the cocoa.
Ooh, that's right.
This my bop, baby, this my jam. I'm trying to eat right now on cam. I'm trying to see if y'all know this. Let's go get our favorite dish. Tell me where the food at.